Welcome to the world of sci-fi stories, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel. Enjoy the listening. The extinction of the dragon cats. What's this planning an attack on a human mining colony? Sit down boy, let me tell you. Why, that is the stupidest thing you could ever think of. Let me tell you a story, boy, about not judging a book by its cover, about not crossing certain lines, and also why you never ever make humanity think of you as any sort of enemy or threat. It has to do with the so-called dragon cat species. Humans said they looked like a mix between a tiger and a Nile crocodile, all the speed and all the armor. Yeah, you've never heard of them. They are long gone, wiped off the face of the galaxy. Oh, there may be a few here and there, but they are huddled in the shadows now, terrified of ever being seen. It's kind of sad, actually. The dragon cats were apex predators that attained Galactic Alliance status millennia ago. Their culture was about the pride of the hunt, and the majority of their technological and cultural factors were closely linked to this hunt. They were excellent mercenaries, soldiers for hire without peer. They were just too fast, their senses too sharp, their claws and jaws too mighty, their hide was too tough. What happened to them? Well, it's hard to pin down, and no one can seem to prove anything, but it's pretty clear what happened. The dragon cats claimed the newly joined humans of Earth as a weak and pathetic prey species worthy of only food. They saw the humans had no natural weaponry, even their teeth were dull, no armor, sluggish movement, and pathetic senses. They deemed humans to be helpless waterbags stumbling about. The humans tried to file a complaint that this was a breach against the Galactic Alliance Charter, and that they wished the dragon cats to be sanctioned and properly contained. But then the raid happened. There is a line in the sand, a term the humans use that should never be crossed. This line is different for each species, but it is important to have it established into each species charter. With the Alliance, the humans had pretty sensible lines that they will not ever cross. Nuclear bombs, chemical and biological agents, the standard fare. But apparently there was another line, and crossing it was unthinkable. It is still not entirely clear what exactly was the line that was crossed, but well, let me tell the story. The dragon cats raided a small town on Earth. It was a slaughter. Every man, woman, and child was killed, and in a very public way. The dragon cats were arrogant and wanted their kills to be on open display, so linked their own sensors to the Earth internet as they were piling the bodies into their shuttle transport. Several dogs were growling and standing over their dead humans' bodies. The dragon cats set the village on fire and picked up the dogs and publicly ate them alive. Right there on the spot, they determined they actually liked the taste of dog, and found a puppy daycare building full of puppies and had a joyful feast on full broadcast display to the internet before flying away, picking their teeth. They made it clear this was the new normal. The hunts will continue. It is just their way. Like I said, we still aren't sure what terrible line was crossed. There was it, the women being killed, the children, the town being burned down. We don't know, and the humans aren't talking about it. Things were quiet for a time, then it started happening. Dragon cat heads just started to explode everywhere, on streets, in Senate councils, on transports. It was weird. No one could explain why or how. The mess was just too complete. Dragon cat ships also began suffering odd mechanical failures, literally spontaneously exploding or falling out of orbit en masse, while humans were indeed nearby in every situation. None of the apparent murders or sabotages could ever be linked to them, and they were all coldly silent when interviewed. Yet dragon cats were dying galaxy-wide by the millions. Then it got worse. Massive comets were spotted arsing in from the dragon cat's homeworld or cloud. All were oddly lined up to impact the home world, and also all were timed to strike simultaneously. The dragon cats had a mighty space fleet and were able to intercept all of the cometary bodies before impact, but in hindsight, this was only a trick to get all of their fleet into one place. That was when the hack occurred, and all the dragon cat warship software started glitching and opening fire on all surrounding ships carrying the entirety of the fleet to scrap again, battle site assessment found. No evidence of any human involvement. The software just seemed to have had a design flaw inherent in it. Apparently it would have taken a very clever and devious mind to have found some way to exploit it and leave absolutely no trace behind. By this point, the Dragon Cats were starting to see the writing on the wall as their economy began to collapse, due to unknown whales disrupting their stock market with massive buyouts and dumps. The Dragon Cats started to rage publicly. Cowards, face us and fight like a true war. And of course his head exploded right there at the podium, and his ship broke, and its crew mysteriously died right there at the docking port. After that, other species of the Galactic Alliance started to quietly distance themselves from the Dragon Cats. Clearly something terrible was going on, and they wanted no part of it in the end. The Dragon Cats were desperate as they noticed the star of their home system starting to fluctuate. Please, members of the Alliance, whoever is doing this, we will surrender and sign any demands placed before us. Splat. There was a hint by this point that the headshot were actually shots from a high-powered projectile weapon of some kind, but no gunman gun or even bullet was ever found. What kind of soldier fights this way? How patient and precise and coldly efficient he must be to remain undiscovered even now, with the whole galaxy trying to figure it out, and yet still execute high officials so very publicly, almost as if the publicity was part of the point or something. The star of the Dragon Cat system went nova. No one really knows why or how. Within 6 months of the raid on Earth, the Dragon Cats were no more. A bullet made of hypercrystalline ice was found on the Dragon Cat Council seat one day. Was it a warning, a statement, a hint? What the heck is an ice bullet good for anyway? It would just melt. So that's the story, boy. I know. When you look at a human, you don't see much. Soft, puffy skin covering exposed, unprotected organs, slow, clumsy hands, and watery eyes, stumbling around as if in the dark most of the time. But we all know, or at least suspect in secret meetings, we agree that there is an unknown darkness in the human's mind, a terrible will that, if properly motivated, unchains a horrible aspect of human nature, while they play nice as a whole. Apparently there are some lines with them you just do not cross. Humanity's cleverness and wit can take a terrible turn if things come to it. The cold, silent, utter removal of the Dragon Cat species without a word ever spoken can attest to that. We all dearly wish to know where exactly that line was, to ensure we never cross it by mistake. And on that note, boy, take those plans to raid a human mining colony and shred them, and never even think about that again. Do you want to risk crossing that line?